I've told this story many times over the years, but I'm telling it again today because the short video, which is the subject of the story, has now passed more than 10 million views on YouTube. Something I never could have imagined when I first posted it. But it has, and for that reason, I've decided to share the story again. For more than 30 years I was a wedding and portrait photographer. And while photographing a wedding in November 2014, I had a massive heart attack. But being the true pro that I am, I finished the job first. Sorry folks, couldn't resist that joke. I spent the next 5 weeks in a coma, and doctors say I actually died 3 times. But as you can see, I obviously survived because I'm still here to tell the tale. I came home on Christmas Day, barely able to walk but determined to fulfill some lifelong ambitions. The main one being to travel to the Masai Mara in Kenya to photograph its beautiful wildlife. The advice I was given was to spend the next 2 years planning my trip and travel the following year. But there was no way I was going to to wait that long. So I started my rehab and gradually got back to a reasonable level of fitness. And in October 2015, less than a year after that fateful day, I was in the Masai Mara. One of the things I've always wanted to see is the great annual migration of wildebeest from the Serengeti through to the Masai Mara and back again. But I'd accepted before I left home that by the time I'd get there, I'd be too late. That's not quite the way things worked out though. I guess somebody must have forgot to tell the wildebeest. Because less than 24 hours after my arrival at Entum Camp, a small herd of maybe several hundred wildebeest had gathered by the bank of the river, and some of them had actually braved the crossing. It may not have been the spectacular crossings I'd seen on TV and documentaries, but at least I did get to see a herd of wildebeest crossing the Mara River. Small it may have been, but a crossing nonetheless. And in fact, just a short while later, another even smaller group braved those dangerous waters. So despite the fact that I had not expected to see any crossing, I could now claim to have seen 2. But little did I know that less than 24 hours later, I'd witnessed the most spectacular crossing I could ever have hoped for. Wildebeest had been gathering on the opposite side of the river from the camp. They'd been gathering since early morning, and by midday, their numbers had swelled from hundreds to thousands to hundreds of thousands. So just before 2:30 in the afternoon, their numbers had swelled. Really, really large numbers. As I said, hundreds of thousands. And the first one took the plunge, jumped into the waters, those dangerous waters of the Mara River, and then it all began. But it's amazing the way the bravery of one animal can sort of form a chain reaction with the rest. The others suddenly see him go and they follow. Now I recorded a little bit of video, 2 minutes basically, just to show people at home what I had witnessed. Even though the crossing actually lasted more than an hour, probably about an hour and a quarter, my video was only 2 minutes long. I wanted to shoot stills. I am, after all, a photographer, not a videographer. Little did I know that 2-minute video would get the kind of attention it has. I mean, when I first posted it, after 2 years it had reached 2,500 views. Even that I was thrilled with. But I certainly never thought that it would get to 10 million. And who knows where it might end now. So on this week's Wildlife Wednesday, I thought I'd I thought I'd share some video and some stills from this famous crossing, and hopefully you'll enjoy them. Well, thanks again for watching Wildlife Wednesday, folks. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and if you did, I'd be grateful if you'd give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And when you do, don't forget to ring the bell so you're notified every time I upload new content. If you'd like to buy a copy of my safari book From Sunrise to Sunset, just follow the link below the video. Till next week, stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands and wear a mask where necessary, while continuing to maintain social distancing, because we're not quite out of the woods yet. Even me. Take care, folks. Bye.